Pledge allegiance and for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Now it's time for DETV.
Coming up on today's show, wrestling season started yesterday. Blaine Bishop has Coach Lang in studio for today's installment of Scorpion Talk.
DE works to help feed needy families over the holidays. We'll let you know how you can help.
And of course, we will be looking at one of DE clubs that offered chance to enjoy some great pizza while helping out at the same time. Hello, Desert Edge. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. I'm Zoe.
And I'm Braxton. Welcome to DETV, the voice of Desert Edge High School.
We have a great show lined up for today. But first, let's see what's cooking for lunch in the cafeteria today. Today's hot lunch choices are mashed potato bowl with popcorn chicken, seasoned corn, and a buttermilk biscuit with a variety of fruit. Also, the cafeteria has started selling hot chocolate topped with whipped cream or marshmallows.
That looks pretty tasty. Our cafeteria workers always do their best to dish out some good food, but now it's time to dish out some Tracy trivia with today's question of the day. Today's question is, which river in New Mexico and Arizona has the same name as a venomous lizard?
That's a tough one, Braxton. I'll be thinking about it during the show.
We will have the answer at the end of the show.
Now let's move on to today's announcements. The Cultural Youth Awareness Club is dedicated to helping Desert Edge represent all cultures. The meeting will happen during the second half of Power Hour in room C16. Come to the meeting to share how Desert Edge can represent all cultures in the school. The Desert Edge Food Drive has begun. Students can help families have a little brighter holiday season and at the same time can win a prize for their fourth period class. Students can donate non-perishable items like canned fruits, veggies or meats, pasta, rice, beans, peanut butter and jelly, and boxed dinners like Hamburger Helper. Students who are interested in taking an AP exam for a class they are not currently enrolled in can now order exams in the bookstore. See the bookstore or Mr. Veneer for an order form. The deadline to order these exams is Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. Once the exams are paid for or charged to a student account, the paid order form should be returned to Mr. Veneer to get the AP exam situated.
Girls soccer trials are in full swing. They start today and run through Friday, November 8th after school from 3:30 to 5 p.m. The Desert Edge boys soccer team is also holding tryouts. They will continue through to Wednesday, November 6th from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. on the back field next to the baseball field. Please make sure you have your Register My Athlete paper filled out ahead of time. The Marching Scorpions wrapped up their competitive season on Saturday with an appearance at the ABODA Division III state semifinals.
Students who love writing poetry or short stories or want to get more involved in reporting the news here at DE should think about joining the Journalism Club. This year's goal is to create a literary magazine that showcases students' work in all artistic genres. The club meets every Friday in room A18, hosted by Mrs. Biwak. Varsity Pom competed in their first competition of the season on Saturday, coming home with first place. They have a great performance and represented DE well. If you see a Varsity Pommy, please congratulate them on a job well done. A Desert Edge Club is offering a great way to spend lunch on Wednesday after early release. Desert Edge Safe Club is holding a club fundraiser at Mod Pizza. The fundraiser takes place at Mod Pizza on Litchfield and McDowell in the same complex with Barnes & Noble and Macayos. Students need to mention Safe Club for the proceeds to go to the club. I gotta go grab some of that pizza tomorrow, Braxton.
Me too, but some of our DE wrestlers
I gotta go grab some of that pizza tomorrow, Braxton.
Me too, but some of our DE wrestlers might not be able to if they want to make their weight class. Mr. Lang is here with Blaine for today's Scorpion Talk segment to talk about the wrestling team.
Blaine?
Thanks, guys. My guest today is Mr. Lang, who's here to talk about this coming wrestling season. So, Mr. Lang, what do the wrestlers do during practice exactly to make them better wrestlers?
Wrestling is the world's toughest sport. But in order to get there, ask any varsity player, they are going to need to work on the fundamentals. The things I've seen even you do this year, you're way better than how you started. Now you can start going full force with those fundamentals to actually practice scenarios in that 6-minute war against other people.
And when do the practices start, and where exactly are they?
Those practices are going to be from 3:30 to 5:30 right after school at the end of the athletic hallway in the wrestling room.
And do you know of any fundraisers that the wrestling team is having to raise money for the team?
That's where we're going to have to keep our ears open for that. We got a cornhole that's coming up. It's a really fun game where you can even win a really cool vacation. And we have an Applebee's fundraiser that's coming up. You'll see it in the news coming up later.
Well, I'd like to thank Mr. Lang for coming to DETV to support his team. Back to you guys at the studio.
Wrestling isn't the only sport worth mentioning at DE.
And Andrew Caldwell is in the studio today with the latest in sports news.
Athletes have been doing pretty well lately, and there's some talk of playoffs for football.
Thanks, guys. That's right. Our DE football team is doing great, but I'll get to that soon. First, let's start off with some great news from our DE swim and dive team. The team wrapped up the regular season Saturday at Husky Invitational. Each swimmer and diver saw tremendous growth over the season and has a lot to be proud of, especially Cale Moore, who qualified for state in the 100 butterfly and 100 freestyle. Wish him luck as he competes in the prelims on Thursday in hopes to make it to the top 16 to come back for finals on Friday. Last Friday night, the varsity football team traveled to Lake Havasu and got a nice win, finishing out the season 7-3. With that record, the strength of this year's schedule, the team has earned the number 4 seed and going into the 4A state playoffs. The team begins their playoff push this Friday night here at Desert Edge against Prescott HS. The team will be rocking playoff helmet stripes and playoff orange pants in front of the home crowd. Kickoff for the game is at 7 p.m.
Thanks for that, Andrew.
Speaking of games, Vaughn has a fun fact about my favorite family board game, Monopoly.
Thanks. One of my favorite games is Monopoly. Sometimes I get pretty competitive. The idea of buying property and destroying people's hopes and dreams always gives me joy. That game that caused family arguments for decades and came out back in 1935. The game was first made in England and other Commonwealth nations besides Canada, and it was originally made to mock America because of how harsh American capitalism was at the time. In 1936, the game made its way to France and Germany, and in the later months of 1936, the game shipped out to America. These days, the game has become pretty popular for families around the world to bond or if they're competitive like me, destroying their friends and family through ruthless capitalism. Back to you.
That does it for today.
The answer to today's question of the day was the Gila River. But remember, you can send us requests, suggestions, story ideas, and announcements at detv2012@gmail.com.
Until next time, I'm Zoe.
And I'm Braxton. Have a great day, Scorpions.